Hello and welcome to HBM's Crypto-Corner for Wednesday, November 28th, 2018. This is our year in review. And I had originally wanted some participation as far as individuals sending me their top 10 cryptozoology stories of the year. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any participation, so I'm just going to do this on my own. I did find 10 stories that I thought were interesting for the year 2018. So I'm going to discuss those. And also, of course, I didn't put any requirement down that anybody had to do it, obviously. But still, anyway, I found what I consider to be the top 10 cryptozoology stories on my own. I decided to make a list of them, so here we go. Coming in at number 10, does a creature lurk beneath Cadborough Bay? Sketch made by the Kemp family following their caddy encounter and published in the Victoria Daily Times in October 1933. The photo is in the public domain. And this is an article, a short interview with Dr. Paul LeBlond, who is a member of the British Columbia Scientific Cryptozoology Club. And he's looked into Cadborosaurus for quite a long time. He's actually an oceanographer. He holds a PhD in physics and oceanography. So, and he co-authored a book with John Kirk and another individual a few years ago called Discovering Cadborosaurus, which was published by Hancock House. And it's a highly recommended book, by the way. Caddy is kind of a sea monster, you might say, or a sea serpent type creature. And the BCSCC has been investigating and looking into it. So, very interesting. It's a very interesting cryptozoological mystery. And I would love to see it solved. Maybe somebody will solve it within our lifetime. Who knows? Clocking in at number 9 is The Meg, Pleased to Eat You. The movie was released earlier this year, back in the summer, called The Meg, based on the novel by Steve Alton, the best-selling novel by Steve Alton, about a gigantic megalodon shark, which was supposed to be extinct, but apparently has survived into modern times. And there have been rumors for years and claims by witnesses that, oh yeah, we saw a shark which measured anywhere from 50 to 75 feet long, and it kind of freaked people out. It's freaked witnesses out. Now the movie is available, I believe, for digital download right now. It is actually out on DVD and Blu-ray as well. The Meg is. So, and Jason Statham from the Transporter movies and Expendables movies starred in the movie. I haven't seen it. I guess it's supposed to be like a modern equivalent of Jaws, like a modern take on Jaws, you might say. And we know how successful Jaws was back in 1975. I certainly do, because it scared the hell out of me in 1975 when I was 5 years old. My parents decided to take me to see Jaws. And I can watch it today with no problems. It's one of my favorite movies. Of course, my favorite scenes in that movie are when we have Brody, Hooper, and Quint out on the ocean, on the Orca, and they're interacting with each other. Those are some great scenes. And of course, the Indianapolis scene in Jaws, absolute classic. Great scene. Quint's speech about the USS Indianapolis. Oh, amazing stuff. Of course, that's based on a true story. That actually did happen. There were naval personnel that were eaten by sharks at that time. So that has a basis in fact. But yeah, the Meg, it looks pretty good. I mean, gosh, the trailers I've seen for it, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it. It looks good though. Of course, the shark would have to be CGI, but you know, it could be a good story. I may have to check it out. At number 8 on our countdown is, well, there's this, a strange carcass that washed up on a Georgia beach. Apparently, Lyle Blackburn wrote this article, and he was interviewed based on his research into a legendary creature called the Altamaha, which has been sighted in Georgia's Altamaha River. And this carcass, whatever it is, it looks kind of like a mini Nessie, doesn't it? A little bit, or a small plesiosaur. That's, of course, assuming that they exist. But, I mean, this could just as easily be just a fish that's been worn away. The main features of it have been worn away to where it looks like this. So, really hard to determine what this could be. There have been so many unusual carcasses that have washed up on shore that nobody knows where they came from, nobody knows what they are. Some of them are called globsters. And they, you know, baffle scientists sometimes. But they may just turn out to be something else. They may turn out to be not actual sea monsters or anything like that. They may just turn out to be creatures that have been rotted away. You know, mundane sea creatures or river creatures that have just been worn away by just being rotted out or being eaten on. Still, it's an intriguing mystery, and that's why it's at number 8. At number 7 on our list is an article by Ken Gerhard, who is a cool guy and a great cryptozoologist. He's talking about thunderbird sightings in Alaska. And he also presented some newer accounts in his book, A Menagerie of Mysterious Beasts, which is a great book, by the way. I purchased it from Ken at the Ohio Bigfoot Conference this past year. Got a signed copy. Really good reading, especially if you really love cryptozoology like I do. Just all aspects of cryptozoology, not just Bigfoot, but I mean stuff like thunderbirds and strange sea monsters and lake monsters and all kinds of good stuff. But yeah, there have been sightings of thunderbirds and things of that nature for quite a long time in the United States, and nobody's been able to figure out what they are. You know, some believe that they're large turkey buzzards or turkey vultures, or they may just be large eagles, large golden eagles. I can tell you, my father saw a very large golden eagle once, sitting on top of a telephone pole or a light pole, and he said this thing was huge. So could that possibly be the explanation for quote-unquote thunderbirds and large birds of that nature? Who really knows? I mean, there's the famous case Marlon Lowe, Lawndale, Illinois, 1977, where his mother witnessed him being picked up off the ground by one of these large birds. And you have to wonder about cases like that. In fact, Seth Breedlove's one of Seth Breedlove and Small Town Monsters' upcoming projects is going to be about terror in the skies, and they are going to talk about the Lawndale reports, the Lawndale Thunderbird. So I'm looking forward to that. But it's very intriguing, the possibility that our skies may have these large birds flying around. But again, as I mentioned, there could be a more mundane explanation. Who knows? I first reported on number 6 a few months ago, about 2 months ago. The late Bobby Short, who established the website BigfootEncounters.com, which is still an excellent resource. She wrote a manuscript before her passing in 2013 called The De Facto Sasquatch. And I mentioned that the first installment has been linked to on her website. And several individuals were responsible for bringing this together. That being her daughter, her grandson, Tom Powell, Steve Summer, Sharon Day, Sibylla Irwin, Joe Bielart, M.K. Davis, Don Monroe, and Rob Roy Menzies. Matter of fact, that is some of Rob Roy's artwork on the cover. But basically, it's not a full book, it's a manuscript. If you go to BigfootEncounters.com and you click on the What's New, okay, apparently it takes you to Facebook, okay? Alright, but it'll carry you on to the main website. Go to the What's New section. Okay, yeah, here is the link. Here's the link, the actual link, but that was from, the link was on Sharon Day's blog, and I just, but it takes you here, and you just download the PDF from here. Again, this is only the first installment. I'm sure there'll be more. At the moment, there's only a few pages. I think it's over 100 pages, the first installment. So, again, it's great to see Bobby Short's legacy being preserved like this. Now, there may have been things that she was involved with that we may not have agreed with, but, that was Bobby. She was a unique individual. And we still, to me, we owe her a great debt of gratitude for all the hard work that she did in establishing this website and giving us all this great information. Thank you, Bobby. And we will miss you. We still miss you, even now. Now, this is one that I recently reported on. And, in Scotland, apparently, they have a big cat problem. This is our number 5 story of the year. You can see this photograph, what looks to be some kind of a large cat stalking in a field, like a grassy field. Now, apparently the UK only has one native species of cat, the Scottish wildcat, but it's about the same size as a domestic cat. It wouldn't explain. It would not explain something this size. I mean, this is a puma or a cougar, as we call it in the United States, mountain lion. It's really hard to determine just exactly how big this cat is. There's really no item for scale other than the grass. I mean, that grass could be, you never know. That grass could be just as tall as 3 inches or something. And the cat could be really small. The puma of the glen. apparently there have been alleged sightings of big cats in Scotland in the past. You know, they say there are big cats in England as well. And Scotland is connected to England, so who knows? Could they have, if there are big cats in England, could they have migrated to Scotland? It's entirely possible. I can't say that I'm familiar with the migration patterns of big cats, but who knows? Still very interesting, whatever's going on. At number 4, as you regular viewers know, I've been really praising and highlighting the new podcast, Wild Thing, from Laura Krantz. Laura is the cousin of the late Dr. Grover Krantz, and she is the host and one of the producers of the Wild Thing podcast, which is all things Squatch. It's good stuff too. She has interviews. She has field excursions. All kinds of good stuff on this podcast. And if you go to the website, you can actually get yourself some stuff. You can get yourself a bike, get yourself a T-shirt, and kind of support the Wild Thing podcast. I'm going to definitely continue to boost the Wild Thing podcast because I think it's well worth listening to. Laura does a great job. She's a great host. She asks really good questions of her guests, and I highly recommend the Wild Thing podcast, and that's why I chose this as one of the stories of the year of 2018. At number 3, it's the monstrous new trend sweeping travel. What is cryptid tourism? Now this one really caught my eye. Now, of course, we have in Portland, Maine, we have the International Cryptozoology Museum. And of course, there's, Willow Creek, California has the museum. The Cryptid Trips to Try, Loch Ness Monster in Scotland, Track Bigfoot in North America. Again, Willow Creek is a good place to start. Also, down in Felton, California, the Bigfoot Discovery Museum. And of course, in Scotland, they take people out on the loch for the possibility of seeing Nessie. And there's crypto tourism that happens in a lot of places. I'm pretty sure it's very lucrative for some of these places, because they're kind of put on the map because of local cryptids. I was in Willow Creek last year, so the influence of Bigfoot is basically everywhere. There's statues, there's businesses that are named after Bigfoot. As I mentioned, the museum, which has the wing of Bigfoot items, Bigfoot casts. A lot of them originals from Bob Titmus. So there's definitely a market for cryptid tourism for sure, no question about that. And it makes money. It's a money maker, no pun intended. But no, really, it's a money maker. Now, very exciting development that's come about this past late summer. The restoration of the Legend of Boggy Creek. by the daughter of the director of the film, Pamela Pierce Barcelo. She's having the movie restored. She's released a clip, a short trailer of some of the restored scenes, and they look incredible. She's doing this in 4K. It's going to be premiering in a theater, at the Perot Theater, as a matter of fact, in Texarkana, Texas, the third weekend of June. They're having a festival in Fouke, Arkansas that weekend. It's a Fouke Monster Festival. And also they're going to show The Legend of Boggy Creek fully restored at the historic Perot Theater in Texarkana. Now, the Perot Theater is where Charles B. Pierce originally showed The Legend of Boggy Creek in the first place. So, and then it will eventually be released on Blu-ray, also in 4K. Later, I believe next fall. So right about this time next year, we should have the Blu-ray of Legend of Boggy Creek. Very exciting developments. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Just based on the trailer alone, which Pamela reported that the restoration is 80% complete. So it's very exciting developments, and it's why I put this at number 2 of the top cryptozoology stories of 2018. And hopefully I can get this thing to work. I have some issues with my screen recorder. There we go. This was a guy that everybody in the Bigfoot community liked. Number 1 story, the passing of Dr. John Bindernagel. Truly a great man, a great scientist. He was just a tremendous person. He really was. Not just because of his Sasquatch research, but he was one of the nicest individuals you could meet and be around. He and his wife both. And just such a good man, such a good person. Loved Dr. John Bindernagel. His research, I call it common sense research. His books are absolutely tremendous. If anybody's got his books, hang on to them. Those are collector's items. Mine are both signed by Dr. Bindernagel, or as I call him, Dr. John. Now, I had a great deal of affection for Dr. Bindernagel. Like I say, he was just a nice guy, really nice fellow. Very, 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 very meticulous, very careful with his words. The guy was just a tremendous individual and tremendous scientist. Now, his like is missed, if you ask me, and will be missed for a long time. You know, it was sad to me when he passed away, because he was just a amazing individual. I think he was very credible. I think Dr. John was a very credible individual. And I don't think we'll see the likes of him again in the Bigfoot community. Well, maybe there'll be an aspiring scientist who kind of follows in Dr. John's footsteps. I would love to see that. His website is still available, by the way, SasquatchBiologist.org. His son is now running it. His son is maintaining it. But I'm glad to see that his legacy is still continuing, and that we can look at his research, and we can watch the research videos and things of that nature. So, yeah, Dr. John, rest in peace. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about John Bindernagel. He was always nice to me, and he was always very conscientious. Always liked that about him. I would say I was a fan of Dr. John for sure, and just like I say, one of the nicest guys you can meet. So there you go. Kind of an honorable mention for this year for the top 10 cryptozoology stories would be the ending of Finding Bigfoot, the show Finding Bigfoot. It actually aired its last 2 episodes back last May on Animal Planet. And from what I understand, Matt Moneymaker is in development for a new series based on native legends. Not just native legends of Bigfoot, but also of other strange creatures and entities, and even, I think, a little bit into UFOs. And he's trying to get that project off the ground. And that could be very interesting. It could be like kind of like In Search of meets Monster Quest, sort of. And I know there's people who don't like Matt Moneymaker. And there are times where he gets under my skin as well, but he's not that bad. I don't think he is. But anyway, not a whole lot of cryptid news to report. There are a couple of things on YouTube. There's a channel called Corridor 13 Pictures, and it's got some clips. There's a 30-something minute video of Bob Gimlin and his travels over the last year or so. There's also an interview with Dr. John Bindernagel by Russell Accord. So I think those are things that should definitely be checked out and looked at. And also, they actually held recently the Sasquatch Summit at Ocean Shores, Washington. I understand it was well attended and a good time was had by all. So that's pretty exciting stuff. News on the Ohio Bigfoot Conference. There's 4 speakers that have been announced. Cliff Barrickman, James Bobo Fay, Jonathan Wilk, and Jeff Meldrum are the confirmed speakers so far for 2019's Ohio Bigfoot Conference. They still haven't announced the 5th speaker. I'm sure they will before too long. But further information on that can be found at OhioBigfootConference.com. Also on Facebook, they have a Facebook page set up for the Ohio Bigfoot Conference. So, any further information you need, you can always like that page and get further information when you go to that page and everything. So, pretty exciting stuff. Yeah, very exciting stuff going on. And yeah. So anyway, guys, that is it for this week and for this year, because I won't be back until January unless there's late breaking news. If there's something that breaks, something that happens that I feel I should discuss, yes, there'll be a new show at some point. But as of now, this is it for 2018. And thank you so much for sticking with me these past 3.5 years since I've been kind of bringing HBM's Crypto-Corner to YouTube. Tried it on Facebook also for a while, but I kind of feel that this works out better to have pre-recorded shows on YouTube. So anyway, I mean, it's very exciting. This is very exciting stuff. And 2018 was a pretty good year for cryptozoology, and I'm hoping that 2019 will be just as good. Maybe there'll be another major discovery, who knows? That'd be interesting. So, we'll be back probably early January. I figure it'll probably be January 2nd, which will be the day after the new year. So 2019, we're going to start it off. So until then, y'all have a great Christmas and a great New Year. And y'all be good or be good at it. This has been HBM's Crypto Corner.